what the fuck is up, Kyle? Yeah. Is there excuse? Get these motherfucking decorative pillows. A little perky instead of the perk 30. You know what I mean? We don't need this. We don't need a slouch on the throw. No, we don't. Okay, girls. Welcome to the space. I'm totally vibing the fuck out for your reading. You obviously know who the fuck you are before I even do, which is cool. I'll take some back in a bit. But yes, you obviously know how I'm doing before I am even, what am I talking about? You know who you are is what I meant to say. You guys, I'm just like settling in right now that I have truly, like, I'm just gonna talk about me for like 30 seconds, chill the fuck out, okay? I'm like working my dream job. Because you have to make a structure for yourself to like work within, and you know, you have to kind of like really think very, very far out. Because I'm trying to have like one job. You know, me and my husband come from like lineages of people who did the same thing for like 30 years. You know what I mean? Type she. So like our parents had like one profession, retired it. You know what I mean? And so we only know institution. So therefore Saturn's children. So anyways, yeah, just a little bit on me, but I'm just feeling really like, oh my God, like this is such a magical, special moment. And I feel like I just got a lot of support, because my dad actually just texted me. He's talking about outside plans, but so let's see who is up. I'm kind of like, I've never been this like, I don't know, I'm fucking wired, you know, what the fuck? Who is it? Who is it? Oh my God, my hands are tweaking. Who the fuck is it even? Who is it? Oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck? This isn't even scary for you. You already know who it is. Who the fuck? What the fuck? It's Pisces. Whoa. Pisces? Pisces? Pisces. Okay, yes, I have a little surprise for you, Pisces. I have some tea. It's like I have some tea. Check the tea. Shut up. Shut up, Pisces. Okay, we laughed. We laughed. These bitches didn't laugh. We laughed. Okay. I hate to be the Grinch. This is us. Twin. Yeah. Pisces, your demeanor, it's like funny. It's kind of like giving like Pisces, your crucifixion was like the first one. Like we're on like round 30 something of the crucifixions. Let's go with 33. But like Pisces was crucifixion number 1. Like Pisces is like, oh gee, let me go first. Let me transcend this life first. So we all watched you go through what many are going through now. And I think that's what I told him. I said, Pisces, you know, I'm going to be a real friend. I'm going to hold you all the way through your crucifixion, because I went through it. And that's why I'm here now with this institution, to support you through it. But I told you, I was like, I'm not going to let them go too heavy on you though, bro. I'm not gonna let them get too carried away though, bro. Because in the end, we all gonna have to hang up there. You know what I mean? And account for what it was, just like Pisces did. So now you sitting over here, now I look like the Grinch. No, now I'm stingy. Oh, because which version? It's like through the reading, like, are we gonna get the naughty or nice? This is my dad. My dad is like, he like collects like Grinch memorabilia, like vintage, current. He's like, because he's like, I am the Grinch. It's like his vibe. And I feel like you're really playing into the vibe beyond us right now. Uranus and Gemini, you're kind of like, you know what, Gemini, you're right. You know what, I like that. I like what you did there, Gemini. Low key, with the naughty and with the duality thing, with the like Pisces is kind of like liberating itself, because like I said, you've already been held accountable for your darkness publicly. And when you had your time, it was all snicker, jeer. Now though, Pisces, I was there, bro. I was like, are y'all just gonna let them slime Pisces out, or is that what we're doing? Like, damn, like they didn't even really talk about, like when you were being crucified, that was definitely like what was going on. But the girls were talking about something else. Like it wasn't your crucifixion that we should be talking about. What? I was there paying my respects. I was sniffling, crying. I was like, yeah, I was having a hard time for you. It was hard for me. Yeah, nobody want to see you down. No, nobody want to see you down. Our most conscious, no. Why would we want to see you down? No, we don't. So, but I digress, Pisces. So I'm going to go with nice. We're going to be nice this evening with the tea. Matter of fact, I want to manifest nice tea for you guys. It's delicious. It's green. Oh, God. My mother, proper Sag, but like it's like hot tea every night. That was like our thing. That was like our like Lorelai, Alexis Bledel moment. That's my girl. Like, tell me every Alexis isn't like the GOAT of like acting. Like every Alexis is going to give you a grounded role every time, but Alexis Bledel is like top tier actress. Anyways. But yes, when we were on our Gilmore Girls, it would be like our nightly tea, our nightly green tea specifically. Yep. So, I'm sharing that with you. I'm acting like my mom. I'm sharing that with you. Here's my cup of tea. Get you some tea, okay? Anyways, I thought that was gonna be funny. So, anywho. Ooh, discernment. Yeah. Pisces, I feel like one of the biggest things that I was going to say, it's like you're like playing into the duality because you are really already upright in your spiritual truth. You really truly have crossover. You're like, no, but trust me. No, I've done the like death and rebirth thing. Yes, I'm in a new cycle. I'm trying to do some different shit. I have no choice but to do some different shit. Because look, I'm different now. I'm not what I was. And perhaps the split here is talking about, you and your influence in correlation with this other energy here, which is the Two of Swords, which is someone is being tested spiritually. Like you might be like, again, thinking about a certain energy in specific where it's like, you can tell they're at a spiritual crossroads. And, believe it or not, I feel like one of the most important things to reinforce is that you're showing up as a King of Swords. So like you are very righteous in your understanding of your own spirit. So like you're upright with God, right? It's like your truth, you're aware of it, and it's upright with God. Like you're doing what you need to be doing and what you're supposed to be doing, right? And you are very much connecting that I want to show up in this identity. And I think this is kind of just like the frequencia. Because you see how like these cards are the same size, but look at the perspective of people, right? A bit of a spiritual rank gap. Ooh, Pisces. It's, for you guys, maybe the reading is called like, it's not a swag gap, it's like a spiritual. Ooh, Pisces, that's so petty. Oh no. Hold on. That's your reading title. It's not a swag gap, actually. I figured it out. It's a spiritual rank gap. That's how Pisces is thinking of it right now. Definitely. Love that for you, babes. Let's see where we're at. Whoa. Truly the guidance from spirit for you, Pisces, in your recent cycle has really been about, can you think about elevating yourself to maybe more of an exemplary individual? If you've already been revealed by God that you are actually the most conscious in a room, if you're a Pisces, you embody all of the zodiac, and your waters encompass all of the memory of the entire zodiacal wheel. And so you have that much depth to you. And so, of course, our bitches with a ton of spiritual depth are expected to implore, expansive, further depths, and I think for you, it has always been up to you how far you want to go. And I also just kind of feel like they need to say, if you need a trusted friend to be like, dude, I'm really proud to see you, like, there's a way that you're coming home to yourself, and it's through how your craft is getting more refined. I think I just see for all of you, well, this is how God is looking at you. You guys are really taking that lens, and it's less about taking in, because Pisces is like the whale eating lunch. Like you just the whale just eats whatever. It takes in the whole water, and it just digests all the microorganisms and things, but also the microplastics and the bullshit that's in the ocean. It could eat anything. And that's kind of what your approach used to be. You just and then you'd spend so much of your time sifting through all the shit that you can't have, that's bad for you, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe just getting got by shit because it's in you ingested it. And so now you're like, it's a lot less of that. Like, I'm being nourished from within. Like, and the way that I can do that is I already have all of these beautiful talents that I feel like God did gift me. Like, they do make me, like, I feel like Pisces is conscious enough to know that their passions in life are things that they've observed have stood out in the world as, the singular phenomena. Like, not everybody was doing it like you were doing it, whatever your thing was, Pisces. And so I want you to know that God is really excited for you and wants you to know you are absolutely on the right track as it pertains to the ways that you've reclaimed your hands, really, and what they will stand for and their wisdom and what they've got you in this life. And you're starting to honor them a bit more by working on things that would bring back just glory and honor to what they can do. And it's got your flair and your essence embedded into this sort of creative process. And so that's what it's all about, Pisces, is getting back into that flow and that dance with you in spirit. But I feel like all of that spiritual growth has really had you clearly aware. I feel like you and a lot of mileage is in between what is right in front of you, per se, and what is like raising you for a better view. Like what the cups look like when you're really letting yourself have that. And you're really answering and honoring what it is that you are and want. So this is huge for you because I feel like this is where someone is truly, maybe I also need to say this, you being sort of, you're kind of in a fixed posture. You're kind of like, I'm not budging on this. Because I think you've been through enough life to understand when it's time to like jump ship or abandon it, or when that's just not going to really change anything. And sometimes I think you're really learning to sit with what's in front of you and learn that you can actually define this really beautiful sense of independence if for any reason the ecosystem you're embedded within is not reflecting your morality or your truth spiritually in some way. You're learning how to be truly independent, and you're learning that actually that is at the core of real partnership, and that you don't have to hate yourself. Like, again, Pisces, no matter how you want to change and evolve, allow yourself to do that every time, but also understand that, you know, at the end of the day, every choice you've ever made, it came from you. It came from a sleepy version of you, probably, yes, but it came from you, and you rock. So when we're taking ourselves holistically, right, that's what I said about bringing it back to the visual for you. Whether you're naughty or nice, I'm still drinking from your cup. That's how that feels. And I feel like maybe that's what this introduction to Better was. I think you were in a lot of third-party energy. And third-party energy just creates what we would consider a distraction funnel of energy, and essentially just weakens the two original components, the divine feminine and masculine within. So when we invite in third-party, frequencies and this is not about relationships. This is actually about yourself. So the guests at your party, right? This is actually someone being bored with company they are hosting. So the feeling at the Four of Cups always kind of in tarot sort of has this attitude that these are just gutter ass bitches that showed up at the house party. And that's not true. This is actually someone that's like, I'm at this table and I don't belong. And when you have that feeling, it's really to direct you to the fact that somehow God directly has come, the hand of God has come out and introduced you to higher. So think of this as your golden ticket. You know what I mean? What was our title? It's not a swag gap. It's a spiritual rank gap, And that's probably why you're getting this invitation to a higher conscious awareness about how to move forward. Past the duality, past the naughty or nice. And just like moving like that, Because Pisces, I think maybe, like I said, you can be in environments right now where it may be the predominant vibe to be like very dualistic. This person's a good person, this person's a bad person. You might be around a lot of energy that's like trying to divide people up. And I feel like Pisces, you're kind of like, this is like you in your peaceful protest era. How cool is that? You're kind of just like, all good. I said what I said. But, and I feel like there's a lot of parts of me in the last 2 months when I was dealing with like harassment and bullying and dumb shit. It's like where I was just kind of like, dude, like I have to really at some point like embody the like letting it go thing too. Like I have to just like genuinely be like, okay, fuck it. Like I'm over it. Like goodbye. Like we're off it. So whatever. Sorry, I'm like deeply sweating. So sorry. It's just like my mom's like tradition for like just like to like OD the Old Navy haul and just like get you a set from Old Navy at some point in the year. So anyway, she's been super into that ever since me and Dennis have been on our like conscious journey. So anyway, she's sends us like a box of like Old Navy classics. Anyways, so that's whenever I miss my mom, I just put on stuff that she fucking got me. Because she just thinks like that. I'm nothing. Sometimes we're just like so different in ways, but it's like whatever. It's like, it's your mom. But yes. So peaceful protest, you know what I mean? Kind of really just standing on what you're standing on and, you know, also kind of allowing yourself to take space in separateness, like also being like, you know, this is like a real incubation kind of space because you're really allowing yourself to kind of do the like splitting of the cell. Like maybe you were a part of this like mitochondria that's just like, we're gonna need to like find a way to exit this system and find a bigger, you know, right? Because it's just kind of, again, it's like, you don't want to get to this place of privilege either in yourself where it's just like, why am I even, what are we even doing? Like, why are we all at dinner? Like, what are we all even doing? Like, that's really the vibe. It's not like, these bum bitter bitchy busters. Like, it's not even that. It's just kind of like, and I think you just, there's something too about what's kind of coming. I think there's something about like, you got to go the distance too. I think you've been kind of, right now, you're not really willing in the environment that you're in to budge on like how you'd have to show up to be safe and sovereign and protected and comfortable and like yourself. So you're going to have to show up in a certain way if you're going to have to live this way in this kind of environment you're in. But I also feel like you do have a desire though to go that you wouldn't even be someone who's opposed to like going the distance to like really expanding past this, you know? And I think also this is something about always wanting to be shaded. Like I think there's something in you, Pisces, that's like, Pisces, I'm kind of seeing you like on your like Steve Irwin, like you're kind of ready to like take a camera and like go like, fuck it, I don't care. Like maybe we don't have shit. Maybe we just go somewhere where we gotta like be more on foot and be more like active. It's like I see you not wanting, like this is like being cooped up in the hills and it's like over there. It's like we're so far from a community. It's us and we can throw whatever party we want, but maybe like we gotta know. Because I feel like it's not like you're without a community. I think this comes in the presence of community that just like the awareness is that, you know, I just think there could be distance. We can travel a little bit further to reach that next cup. It's possible. And so, you know, you're kind of in this place where you do kind of feel like God's looking at you like, well, Pisces, you and me know, like you can move, you can. So then you just have to ask yourself what that means for your relatedness to these cups, right? Pisces, I just love that I don't ever have to explain myself, you know. I said what I said. Whew. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck is kind of crazy because I think this also all really triggers you to ask one question. What do you define as like successful or like the wheel being up for you? You know, I think you're starting to realize that that's like a super not materialistic based thing either. Like when you're really up for real or when you really feel blessed, it's like different types of intangibles, not just like, yo, when I got that deposit, I got that check, because I think you're starting to realize every time you get that check, you got to do something with that check. Somebody wants something with that check, you know? And so maybe we don't like, you're really understanding your role in the age of Pisces. You're really understanding like the role we have. And like, if we're going to take up this space, we have to be utilizing it. You know, if we're going to sit on the pot, you got to take shit or something, or you get up off the fucking pot, you know? So I think you just really don't want to be sitting on the pot. You don't want to be a part of that vibration because you know how God's going to deal with you. Because it doesn't matter if you're around people who are also doing the same thing. You're the Pisces there. And you know, because God's already told you, I know you know what's going on. I know you hear my voice, Pisces. So that's why it would be different for you. So just don't, so you know. But this is where we are, Cancer Newman. You're very much aware though. And that's such a big place to be. I think it's just about, it's internal, you know, it's internal as fuck. It's just like being like, all right, dude, dead ass, like, you know, let's see what's crossing. Wow, it's beautiful. Wow, Pisces, So a partnership that you are in is going through like a judgment. Maybe like, you could have gone through many judgments with this partnership, but one particularly is happening. And I feel like the going through judgment with this partnership has put you in this disposition of Four of Cups. Where again, the move now is we either go the distance to go get the next cup, or I'm going the distance to get the next cup, because there's nothing else to really do here. When judgment is called, it's like we need to ascend. We need to No, we can't really get too lukewarm to where we're not really doing anything. Four of Cups, Two of Cups. This is also judgment being called because, Pisces, it's like, is it possible to be in a dynamic though where someone is like, this is soulmate, and someone is like Four of Cups about it? Do you get what I'm saying? This can also be judgment being called because it's just like, this has to be worked out in your own brain, Pisces, you know? You can't always be on two different pages. Right? Like, forever. I mean, for your sake, if you want to enjoy life, the life that comes with not being on separate pages from people, you know? So, I also feel like because it's like, if that, Pisces, you're also sitting with the crux of the mask. There's something about like the performance, it's in partnership sectors. But within, this is not actually feeling like you're in union. It feels like you feel like you still need to work on yourself to be able to be doing partnership the way that I think you need partnership to feel for you to be participating in it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if we're going to be calling that and saying and claiming that we're doing this type of stuff, or I'm going to be associated and working in this collaborative way, it's like, Pisces. Sorry, it's like kind of going into a KO for a second. So we got the Three of Cups. You got the Four crossed by the Two. What's cemented is the Three. Because we're back at that Three. There's something about like, look, this is what it, like, imagine this is the Three Cups here. So let's put this here. It's like super business. There's you watching. You're like this is Pisces. It's like your renewal way back there. Pisces way over here. And then the party's like, he's like at the edge of the party. Right? Type of thing. Because this present moment is the conduit to what comes down. So like the future tense is like this Three of Cups. so interesting. I don't know, Pisces. You're gonna have to fill me in on like what's your deal? I don't know. I don't know what your deal is. You can feel if you want to feel about it. I'm just fill me in by this. So the World card. I think you've completed a cycle. I think that's why you're sitting in the Four of Cups. You know now that what you just did, what the celebrating this moment, the connect, the whatever, the Three of Cups, this moment. It's like, woo, the friend. You've all completed a cycle. And I think what you're realizing is that like what comes after that is the distance between you and your next renewal. The incentive. And maybe it's not even a negative thing. Maybe I'm like looking at this crazy. It's like the next cup is like, it's like soulmate. It's like you completed this karmic third party. It's like partnerships. It's like, it could be work. It could be like relatedness to any type of thing. But like the way that you were relating was like third party, which means it just was taking away. It was just a distraction of your energy. It was like, when something becomes third party in your life, I use this terminology a lot. I guess I should break it down more. But when something becomes third party in your life, like it becomes like you and God are having an A-B conversation. A karmic energy is going to make it A, B, and C. And so then you're taking in a detail that doesn't matter. Karmic people or just like third party energy. Like it's like you really only want to do stuff that's like genuinely ordained for you, you know? And so you don't really need to be in a rush to like glaze over like things that could potentially show you that something isn't for you, because this type of shit you immediately will know takes a portion of the energy from somewhere that needs it, you know? So that kind of creates this like despondent feeling where you're like in a room and you don't belong, and you know it's like the weight of that. It's like I got a lot of work I gotta do. I know I gotta try to cover some distance, and I'm also like in a room where I just feel like it's the completion of that. But we'll see if the tone of this, I don't really know. It's kind of a neutral vibe as it stands. 7 of Pentacles. I also feel like in the recent past, Pisces, like you've been super like trying to invest, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you've been like really trying to get your investments to grow. Diligent, like you've been pairing like very physical. I feel like you've been doing like a lot of like physical, again, kind of the hand situation, but like a lot of physical tending, and then like put a little magic on it to see if we can kind of use magic in like material. I think you're also trying to be more embodied with your creating your life process. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take some tea. I'll have to be monitoring the weather. We're having so much good water. So let's see what's crowning the reading. The Emperor. Judgment. So I feel like Pisces, in your situation, whoever wears the pants, I just heard that. It's like there's a very specific, like, this Emperor is like, who's running the show? Because it could be, I'm kind of getting like, I'm really getting like production vibes, Pisces. Like if I was like on a film production or some sort, and kind of like the energy of like whose production it is or who said it or whatever, right? Whoever that is, I feel like it would be like a scenario where it's like that person is under judgment. And I think Pisces, that's kind of, I think that's what it is. They're under judgment for their third party affiliations. Like maybe, as I said, it's like, I think you're learning how to, where you do in the water, like you're wading in the water with people because, you know, they're on your path, you know, you're tethered and you're just, you know, your spirit. This is why I think you're really like relying on, you're maybe even really gravitating towards that cup that maybe talks a little bit more about spirituality, because I think maybe you really need a connection with God right now, because, you know, you might be in a cycle where it's like, oh my God, I'm going through something new, where it's like maybe me and my spouse or something are not synced up, or maybe me and my best friends aren't kind of like having the same vision for the future, or maybe me and my roommates are moving in different directions, or maybe me and my bandmates are like really not wanting to participate in this anymore, something, you know what I mean? It's like, you could be in that kind of cycle, and I think you're learning that like in those moments you kind of just like need God, like you just need God. You just kind of need a faith that your prayers will be heard and that something better, a solution can come from with something that has a bigger, grander view of how things will go. But for anyways, that there could be like an emperor figure, and this is like I said, the emperor. I think there's something to also be said that this emperor specifically is really big on, because remember we talked about how the emperor is a figure who is really big on defining who we are, who the empire is. So you and this emperor are associated. You're associated by a group association. And so the emperor, though, in the situation, whether you could be like a low guy looking up like, oh, that's the boss, or it could even be like your husband's the emperor, your wife's the emperor, I don't know, whoever calls it, supposed to be some shot caller. But the person, though, has the traits of, they're really fixated kind of on defining who we are, and and kind of like, there's been this big thing about like, we've got this empire we're trying to build, da 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 da. However, I think that's the problem, is it's like a lot of this shit is low level cups, like Pisces, and that's where I think you're getting corralled into the judgment, because if the depth is not like, it's the Four of Cups is the deepest, as deep as it's got, and spiritually, emotionally, like we haven't evolved past the Four of Cups. You're dealing with the privilege situation, where like this is when you're starting to feel conviction from privilege, where it's like, we need to mobilize, we need to move this energy, because it's too much, it's way too much. It's kind of like that frequency, because it's too much. And then we're coming out, we're also equal parts like really focused on like etching out that we have some sort of empire. But do we really have enough? Have we really gone deep enough to really be taking? And I think that's the kind of reckoning. Can we really be claiming an empire when there's just like people who've gone way deeper with what the purpose of the thing we're all doing here is with God? I think there's just evidence of that now. I think there's just something that's really in view. And the thing is like, because it's just pretty cut and dry. In the past, you've really done nothing but been trying to build like investments. You've been trying to like, Seven of Pentacles, get returns on the things you're investing your time into. You're intending, Eight of Wands. You want them to grow. You're hoping for growth. But right now, what's in view is just these. I mean, it's natural. It's like the relationships, though, like the partnerships, the relationships, these dynamics that you're in, because there's the Two of Cups dynamic, which is like what your real relationship to yourself could also just be, like an actual partner that you have specifically that would be like significant. But then it's also like three of Cups, just the same, like just the bitches too, like everybody, synchronicity. So, but I just feel like everything's really shallow, but it's very top heavy. It's like, again, we just haven't gotten that deep. I also just think that that's something that maybe there's a sense of like, I kind of just feel this general sense of like, because it's such a shallow puddle, it's like the anxiety that a big koi fish would feel if if its ecosystem was just like really shallow for whatever reason, like the water levels were just kind of be unwell. Have you ever seen a really beefy koi fish? And it's like, beefy is a weird word to use, but a thick koi fish, and then it's like, it's like that. I'm kind of seeing you like that, Pisces. Like the water is receding a little too much. There's not enough water for you in the environment. It's not deep enough water-wise. You're not getting replenished enough for Pisces. Because if you stay in puddle land, it's like, this is not enough of anything, really. This whole situation is just simply not enough for an emperor. I feel like there's an emperor who's like, It's like, you just feel like real like motion sick. It's like, are we being serious right now? And I think judgment is being called on that, because the empire was given to you by God, but maybe not this this crowd, this connection, this batch. Because maybe circumstance has always been what you've allowed to assemble your relationship dynamics. And maybe it's time that we realize, like, I can be intentional and choose. Four of Swords reversed. So Pisces, I feel like you had an experience, or well, like this is in the future position, but the experience is what happens when people point the swords at you. What I think you might come to find, the transformation in that is that like, oh, this is what Spirit just said. You know, the careful who you point the finger at, because you point one finger and you're pointing three back at you. That could be the situation. This is my card for that. It's like, you just want to be aware. Because and that's why I'm trying to tell you that this whole situation maybe isn't enough for the empire you yourself have to run. It's not going to be enough of a foundation for it. So maybe if that could be some precursor so you don't point your finger at something, because all three of them would just come, you know, type of shit. I'm just reading the cards, Pisces. Wow. And Pisces, that might also be an energy that you're watching. Because I can't help but say, like, my perspective, I feel like I'm reading for you, but I feel like you're one of the three people who, it's like someone tried to point the finger and you're a part of, your truth is a part of the truth that you have you have a truth that exonerates something. You have a truth that's like, my brother. Because if you try to point your finger, because someone's trying to deflect and point their finger at something and you're like, no, because that's facts. No, because that's what's tea. Right? So I actually feel like you're not maybe the one that's actually pointing the finger. But when someone pointed their finger, three other truths, incorrectly, right, says God, three other truths came right back against them. And one of those truths happened to be your own truth. So that was something you were dealing with. Perhaps that's the other thing, bringing it back to, you know, in partnerships, if you're in a partnership where it's like you got to support your partner's, you know, trials and tribulations through their own faith and their, you know, you might be called to kind of hold that kind of mirror up, that sort of like, hey, like, you know, what are your real motivations right now? Like, what's really driving your spirit? Like, what's really like, I mean, this is definitely like, to me, I just feel like it's very business heavy, because I feel like it's like, speaking to this sort of emperor energy. And again, don't be too caught up on the specifically with this emperor, I'm not even really getting a gender. I'm getting like, it's a role, it's a description. It's like someone would be assuming the role of like really etching that out. Because again, it's like what dad does. Dad tells you who we are, how we represent ourselves out, how we stack up with the rest of the fucking world and the rest of the bitches, right? And that's called for, but I feel like maybe Pisces. The subtext of your reading would also say, read the room. you're coming out of this cycle where there's this huge awareness, because it's in the World's card, of what it's like to be in partnership with someone who actually doesn't, it's like toxic leadership, I guess, right? And it's like, whoa, Pisces, you might be a part of some worker revolution. Of some union shit. Like, yeah, no, you might be a part of like, overthrow him. Because I feel like, or just whoever is contributing to that role, who's that, like, whatever, it's not even just, I don't really even think this is a person. I think this is like how whatever your partnership with approaches identifying itself. We need to recognize that we're not reading the room at all. We cannot have an image that's Pisces. You're the one who has a voice in that. It's like, we cannot have an image like we look like the guys who have a spiritual rank gap, because we can't have an image that we're still like trying to be like, this is who we are, fuck all, when the context is like people are like emotionally despondent, they're dealing, you know, it's just a more of an emotional landscape and a spiritual landscape, and this is such a different energy to be showing up in. It's like the collective vibe right now is just like also maybe not, it's like people are dealing with like shallow relationships and having to really be in the trenches and talk about like, why are we leaving ourselves in stagnant energy? And then there's this energy that's like, we want to crush on your head and let you know that it just kind of gives like white supremacists, like it's like kind of like, yeah. The way that functions is kind of what that energy, the Emperor energy. So you are realizing that it might be some good trouble to really overthrow if you are a part of the thing that's kind of pointing its finger at everybody else, or, you know, requiring the consciousness of everybody else, then perhaps the overthrow in the near future that you might find yourself on the front lines being like, revolution, like Pisces. Unironically, you might be that fucking, for context, you might be like, because I'm a documentarian, I've just been paying attention to the fact that they're doing like the Netflix documentary, like, but really they're simulating like what happens when you're interviewed for particularly like a maybe true crime adjacent type of like documentary style, where there's like this like flat shot of you like sitting in sort of a timed shot. It's like, Pisces just like, let me tell you about the time that I was a part of like overthrowing, like, you know, it's like, that's your vibe. But it's so beautiful because it's like under this Cancer new moon, there is just this like beautiful lunar light. It's such again, this is all like starlight, moonlight, like just like nighttime vibes. And I feel like also like, you know, that might also just be your rhythm, like in terms of like when your creative juices are flowing, or maybe when you're most alive. Knight of Wands is like, I want to fucking go to fucking Wendy's. I don't know, like, you know, like when you just get too turned up at like 2 a.m. or some shit. And I just feel like there's such a this is a beautiful combination. This is like a star that looks beautiful in the night sky. But I feel like what you're recognizing is that like maybe through the observation of like, wow, or like how like, wow, because I'm just getting like, you're looking at like it just seems like a vision of like, it's a galaxy over there. It's like just looking at that star energy. And they're pouring out some emotions that I think are connected to being a part of like fractured systems for you, Pisces. Like you're seeing you're like on the inside of like the fall of things, like maybe the fall of capitalism, the fall of like white supremacy, the fall of the patriarchy, the fall of like whatever, right? I think you're just like on the inside getting the kind of high conscious guy vibe about it. But I also think there's like this really, this is awesome. This energy, the moon and the star. It just gets you just like 44, I just saw. It's like on some Jay-Z shit. But it just gets you like, it's just like, meeting under moonlight. 9 of Pentacles, wow. Knight of Swords. Well, considering your past, Pisces, I think you're someone who's really interested in, like, I think you have all this stuff. Like, you have, like, this, like, treasure trove of, like, prototypes, like, that you, like, you're like, hello? Like, you have all this stuff. Like, Seven of Pentacles is, like, I'm always fucking around doing the thing, right? And I just kind of feel like Nine of Pentacles. It's, like, taking some... It's, like... I think when you see this night star in the daytime and it's like, oh, dead ass, you've got like more treasure trinkets than me. Whoa, like, right? It's like kind of interesting. I kind of want to like build that too. What? Type of shit. Then you're like, there's Pisces. Right in. You're the fire horse. I think you're the fire horse. It just happens. Just one of those things. I think too, this is about, I think you gotta really know something. If it's like a relationship in your life that I feel like, because it's Queen of Wands, so it just can be genders, it can be anything. But if it's something that it's like the person, the thing that, whatever it is in Queen of Wands energy, you just need to remember like it would be in the image of like what you like and like what truly would like nourish and like you back. So I feel like because you might have a little bit of anxiety because you were a part of maybe like some sort of like tower moment, like, you know what I mean? Like, judgment was called and your tower went down, or you were like called out for some shit or like whatever. But it's like difficult because it's like, I think maybe you feel like that's gonna affect, it's like, oh God, I'm in a tower, like I don't know, about this Queen of Wands, but you have to really move with love. And you also have to probably think about towers in a different way. Like, towers aren't really, again, back to the naughty or nice. I think a lot of times too, when we're dealing with, so people who are like truly like attractive, right, or like magnetic, I think the thing with them is like, you don't realize like how much they don't fudge on, like they're so whole in themselves. So, they're not looking at themselves for a good day or a bad day or whatever. And I think like a lot of times, like some people can just be like intellectual, so they can just be literal about like the realities. And also have emotional capacity. Like, I just don't want you to ever, like, not allow yourself to, like, go through and evolve in life and then think that, like, well, because I was in that clusterfuck, that if I really truly still find that Queen of Wands to be, like, desire, that I shouldn't, that I'm just, because, do you see how that's a projection? You're not allowing that Queen of Wands to genuinely be something that's not an enigma, that's not, like, a night sky vision, like how you perceive it. It's real too. That's what I want to say to you, Pisces. I think if you feel this way about something, moon, star, okay. If you think something's that massive, though, straight up, like in your life, good for you. That's a blessing. There are so many depressed people. But if like whatever, then you can allow yourself to know what it is in the daylight. Like, I think it's just not conscious how I just feel like someone doesn't know that, you know what I mean? Ironic. I don't know how the dynamic could be, but I don't know if this is a separate conversation. But again, there's the current crises, which is like, I'm a part of like certain collapses that I think that this thing that I find to be, it's like hope. It's like inspiring. It's like that, like it's an inspiring vision of like whatever. But in the daytime, it's really on some, it's a real thing. You can, I almost want to say it's like you can really invest it. It's like if you were looking to invest in, it's like this is something to invest in. Because I think it only stays shadow and like, you know what I mean? And then you're only like feeling like, I think you've only created towers because of that. Because I don't think this thing only wants it to be that you want it because it's not. I think you're feeling like, I don't only want it for this or that. I genuinely like care about the only, but it's like, it kind of is like because of the way that we've only kept it in a certain behavior. it's like you can't only go to this star for emotional fulfillment. Like it looks like you don't have emotional depth, so you've created something and made something up to be the thing that like you go to get, but it's actually become like you're actually just holding both. So now you're not ever going to get the star in the flesh because you're not committing to it, because you're still using something that actually fully fulfills you, probably to fill in the cups for the guys that aren't fulfilling your empire. And the problem there is like if you can just finish the cycle here with the emotional immaturity, then the star can be something you are free to physically also allow to fully, because right now what's karmic about this dynamics is it's fixed. You can't get more than what this is with that type of frequency. So let's see what your outcome is, Pisces. Guys, this is such a cool reading. You guys just like really make me feel like I can flow. I'm really proud of you guys. Okay, so I think you've been incentivized because maybe this reading, maybe confirmations from the Most High, praise God, right? But I think that the outcome of this is you're gonna just go ahead and do what needs to be done to complete this cycle. You invested in certain things that I think, like I said, it looks like we have to do the internal work to realize like you have to have deeper faith, deeper cups. You have to get further along the cups. You want to be, if you're in empires, you need at least the 10 of cups, right? But it doesn't look like you guys have explored the 5 of cups. It's like these are people, maybe these are relationships where you guys have never struggled together or something. You know what I mean? You're kind of worried because you're kind of maybe feeling like impending doom, because it's like our day will come. And I don't know if me and this thing would make it through those days. What about the 6 of cups, you know? 7, when it's time to explore, like, do we understand our souls? And you get initiated through that shit. 7 of cups, when ecstasy and madness gets introduced. Like, you've seen people who have all this depth and you know the distance, but it's just like, if we don't, I really just feel like when you're in that 4 of cups, it's like we need to go the distance. We need to be setting our eyes on like challenging ourselves to having a different type of experience, because if we don't ever test this relationship, we'll stagnate. And that's maybe connecting to the tone deafness, because the tone deafness is actually like a byproduct of the fact that we are too shallow, like to be running this. I think it's not your fault that like maybe your empire has spread to bigger, but it's like the origins of it weren't that deep. And now it's like people point fingers and it's pointing back at everybody in the near future, but it's really being triggered by the fact that it's juxtaposed. There's other like wells that have a bunch of it's like water sources. There's like people who've made like reservoirs, like star energy, and they don't even have any clothes. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, in comparison, the fact that you have an empire and a bunch of shallowness, they're fucking hobos out here fucking connecting to God and getting the bag. They're just like living more, you know what I mean? And so it's also about how we kind of hoard wealth, because now what do you do when the 7 of Pentacles was what you had, was what Pisces already are off top? Like, you had that to invest, but it looks like because of the shit pinata of the situation, now you've got other influences outside of you that have like more independence. Like, they're completely sourcing their shit themselves. So now they kind of like make the obsolete thing that you like having money or like the money or the capital would have been an incentive for. Because before it was like, yeah, get a lot of capital, you can kind of have the freedom you want. That was true. But I feel like you are finally realizing that it's like nothing moves forward until I genuinely like deal with and carry the either burden or the strength to deal with this. Yeah, Pisces. Oops. Pisces, I have a feeling that like, so like, I don't know if you were doing like a personality type or some shit or something. Let's just say your element would be showing up as Pentacles. Like, your expression right now, your currency, your like love language is like Pentacles type of frequency. You may be finding that in your partnerships, you're partnered with things that love language is like Cups. So let's say you're a King of Pentacles with a Queen of Cups. The awareness would be, this is all theoretical, but it's like the King of Pentacles, which would be Pisces in the situation, genderless. It's just the king, it's just the guy, right? the King of Pentacles is like coming through this awareness that it's like, I'm with a Queen of Cups. Probably would make more sense for me to be with a Queen of Pentacles and find potential that could turn into a Queen of Pentacles. It's that type of emotional shift happening with the Four of Cups that started our reading. You're just realizing that maybe these people really are always better off partnered elsewhere. Because what once became a choice that we thought, right, it's a lot of Gemini, the duality. It's very burdening to know that it's like, it can be angels and demons. It's like, it's hard, it's burdening you, Pisces, to have a crew that's like that, or like to like have both of those influences be. And I think it's only just because of the difference in path and alignment altogether, right? I also feel like I said, you don't have to worry too much, Pisces, because if this is clear, because it's not a match there, this thing also right behind it has a King of Cups as well. Chariot. I'm also giving you that because you're wondering, like you're feeling, like I said, your Knight of Wands is like really drawn to creating the conscious light. Like you really want to be like finding an appropriate way to communicate like what this perception is and the conscious light. Because maybe you need the service. I think you also might need the help. I think this is like going to get the help you need because of Ten of Wands. What's the guidance there? Like, how do we like lessen this burden? So, Pisces, that is such a good read. Oh my fucking God. So let's like see if there's any other messages for you with the Aquarian Tarot. Love you guys so much. Oh, that's cool. So Pisces, I think, you remember I just told you, it was like, you're kind of like a King of Pentacles right now. So you're kind of like looking for a Queen of Pentacles. She just like showed up. So it's like, there's a equal give and take, Six of Pentacles. Like there's an equal exchange from this Queen of Pentacles. And I think it's just that you've consistently noticed like Virgo, sixth house things. It's like, you consistently notice that this Queen of Pentacles always, like when you make a play, they match it. And so that's what's been giving you the awareness of that sort of like, I have so many flowers to give under this Cancer new moon, I feel like. Under this Cancer new moon, you feel really motivated to create some sort of whatever. Seven of Cups, it's just like it's just like pure fantasy. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like the vibe is that it could be, I think you just see all of it. You see so many possibilities here. Genuinely. So that's cool that I like reached into that with the other deck, because I was just saying, I was like, yeah, I feel like you're this star moon energy that, again, I feel like it's like night. It's like you're inspired at night. It's like, it could be any type of, but it's like, it's routine, it's habitual, it's like whatever. But you're super interested in like the fullness of it. You don't really just want part of it. Like, I think this is cool. It's like, you know, maybe you like follow something online, right? Like you like, oh, I always see this restaurant online or whatever. And then like, you're like, you know what? They look so good. I like book a restaurant and go in the daytime. And that would complete it. That would mean, you know, so then you kind of get out of this like naughty, nice paradigm. And you kind of get into this whole like whole thing, like, you know. But I also just feel like there's something very addictive to it as well. Like, I think it's like you want to carry the whole weight of it because it's just like, it's so different. It's just, Pisces, I think you're just being juxtaposed with like so much more depth that it's like, I don't even, the past shallowness and how it misaligned things and miscommunicated my intentions, doesn't even really matter. Because the bottom line is Spirit is telling me like, I just need to guide myself to the conscious version of what I'm doing. Like what I'm doing is right, but right now it's like, it's in the dark. It's not, I'm not in the light about it. If I tried just like going in through the front door, I probably would have a lot more. So it's like, Pisces, you're not gonna like get any slack either. It's like, just like go through the front door, Pisces, you know what I mean? Let me see if there's any other messages. Of course you guys know what I mean. You guys are awesome. Wow. So Pisces, I feel like you really want to invest because this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like is the only person you've ever actually seen temper this Emperor energy. Like get it to like I feel like kind of like mature and have a little more depth, and you're loving that, and you kind of feel like you want to really invest Page of Pentacles. Like it's new, you don't know, it's not like you're not like sure this is gonna work out for you, but it's like cool because I feel like you're like, what you would really say is like, dude, this Emperor energy in my life, like you always really have the best, like you really can affect the type of change that's like really needed in the dynamic, and it's gonna support us deepening our endeavors all together. And I think that that's beautiful. And I feel like it's just because it's like you're watching a temperance angel, like an earth angel, literally like alchemize an Emperor energy that was just like, it was just like kind of a clusterfuck of like problems and toxicity because it was just, everything was so shallow because it wasn't that deep what it is. And there's just like, we're in a world of depth now. So I feel like that's another big aside. It's like, you're so grateful for how this Queen of Pentacles like helped you with that energy, about how like you were kind of showing up as someone who was like really like, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, maybe at like not appropriate times, or like just in ways that just like, I don't know, maybe you felt like you had karma, and it's like you want to go to this earth angel. I literally feel like this moon star is like, you know, an earth angel, but you like have only ever, it's like, I only know the lore, I think I got the number, I'm gonna see like what I can do. See what I can, I don't know, it's cool. Any other messages, Spirit? It's so hilarious, Pisces. I feel like it's like there's just so many like duality thematics, like Gemini thematics. But I feel like Pisces, it's so funny because I feel like your vibe right now is like very much like Ye's newest single, Gemini Season. And it's like just like as soon as I saw this Queen of Cups, I just thought about like Bianca like drinking the like milk cup. And I thought about how when you're really with, like for example, like I just thought about how artistically it communicates, like when you have a level of depth, right? Think about the density of like a glass of milk. There's like a lot of heavy imagery here. There's a lot of like things that I pick up on that I think like communicate the message really well, make it a very like rich image. And it's like such a short, fabulous single. It's like no skips. Great. Love it. But the whole imagery there is like when we talk about having something that's fortified by God, right? Like it's kind of like when we introduce God, if it's like if God wants this for us, type of thing. And I feel like there's that type of like reality for you, Pisces, where it's like you can live, it's like, I want to get kinky, you know, I think she's ready, like, yeah, you know, and it's like about this awareness. It's like, it's subtly radical, right? It's subtly like, you know what, I'm going to claim that. Like, there's no way to get to the fantasy that I desire without claiming that I want the fantasy, without checking for consent, and without like timing it well. But Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost are in this motherfucker for you. Because I feel like also having I also feel like maybe this is like ancestral. Like some of this Emperor energy that you've gotten yourself karmically wrapped up to is like has to do with like some shit your ancestors were onto. So I feel like once this Earth Angel helps like alchemize that for your situation, I do even feel like, again, your Queen of Cups, it's like there's an expansion. It's like through your faith you can understand that like you don't even have to change what's even happening, because I think that's what you've been in this kind of covenant thus far with yourself and this partnerships, like because of your indebtedness to one another or whatever is crossing your hairs. But I feel like, yeah, it's cool because it's like, you know, when we have faith and we rely on, if we get a little bit deeper, we can move past being so, because I think this might be one of the situations too where like, for example, like a lot of people feel sexual tension, but they don't, like you have to have a certain level of depth to be able to process like sexual tension through your body and to be able to not like do something dweebish, like act out and be insane. Because like 90% of the time you're like feeling sexual chemistry, but it's like if you don't have like if you, like, for example, like, think of sexual energy as, like, a really, like, if I, like, pyrotechnics, like, blew a flame at you right now. It's, like, how far that flame could go or reach with my breath. So, when you are, like, sexually desiring something, it's, imagine, like, someone shooting a breath of fresh air, or breath of air through the root, right? And however powerful that attraction is how far that breath can really light and ignite how far the flame. But think about, the flame shoots straight up your chakra column, right? All the way up. And so if you don't have a proper crystalline grid to house that type of passion and, like, shock to the system, I don't know if your behavior will always be conducive with, like, mature and appropriate. You know what I mean? Realistically, like, I feel like sometimes, like, shit kind of gets, like, a little wonky. And so I think this whole experience for you, Pisces, has also helped everyone soften quite a bit, I feel like, into really realizing that maybe further education and maybe, like, clearer definitions of things could help us, like, just to make maybe clearly identifying maybe a little more emotional ownership, like, over our own emotions of, like, what we're feeling and what, you know what I mean? And I feel like your Queen of Cups is getting to a bit more, like, emotionally whatever. But I also do kind of feel like, low key, like, if you feel like you had a partnership that needed a demon out, and there's this earth angel energy that, like, does that, and you feel like we should repay that service because it's never been done. You didn't even think this was possible to do. You didn't even really register this as a demon because you thought it was, like, a personality trait or just, like, something you were gonna have to deal with, and it actually was changeable through God. Because again, this star moon is, like, it's like a Sailor Moon, Sailor Venus. Like, I feel like you're seeing some shit like that in your life. Okay, last card, Pisces, and then I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Love you guys so much. It's cool. Yeah. So I think this reading, I don't even know what the fuck we've even been talking about. Like, that's what I love about your fucking readings, Pisces. I don't know what the fuck's going on. No clue. Could have had a stroke. I don't know. Don't know. But yeah, your readings are so fun. You're ending on the Knight of Cups. I think it's cool. I think this reading probably, like, talked you into exactly what you were contemplating. Like, I don't think you ever, also, Pisces, you're Pisces. It's the most charming thing when you're a Knight of Cups. Like, that's kind of like what, it's like a junior Western bacon cheese. That's what you are. You know, but no, Pisces, you should do that. You should Knight of Cups your way through the fucking summer while you still got the summer. Because it looks like you've been delivered. It looks like we've mellowed out. It looks like people have reflected. It looks like, I don't know, there was just, like, a guiding light through something that could have been maybe disastrous, could have really fucking crushed and destroyed everything, and nope, calmly was poured out. And it's just kind of beautiful. So I love that for you guys. Cool, Pisces. Thank you so much for talking to me and for you're just good pals, you know what I mean? We're good pals. Okay? Me and Pisces are pals. The P and Pisces is pals. Okay, y'all. Have a great day. Be blessed.